Josephine felt him before she saw him. Across the vast expanse of space, his presence resonated within her soul. A pull, a tug, a connection that defied the laws of physics and time. He was out there, somewhere in the cosmos, and she knew she had to find him. It wasn't a physical sensation, not exactly. It was more like a song she could hear in the silence of her heart, a melody that whispered his name and beckoned her towards him. Josephine had always been different. She possessed a gift, a sensitivity to the threads of time and space that others couldn't perceive. His presence was faint, like a distant star flickering in the cosmic wind, but Josephine clung to it with unwavering faith. She knew with every fibre of her being that this connection was real, that he was waiting for her, and she would answer his call. The vastness of space stretched before Josephine, a canvas of swirling nebulae and twinkling stars. Yet she didn't feel daunted. She felt exhilarated. The emptiness wasn't a void to be feared, but a bridge to be crossed. He was out there, somewhere in that infinite expanse, and she, Josephine, would find him. Her heart thrummed with a potent mix of fear and excitement. The universe held its breath, waiting for her next move. Josephine took a deep breath, her hand hovering over the ship's navigation console. She closed her eyes, focusing on the pull that guided her. It wasn't a voice she heard, not exactly. It was more like a feeling, a knowledge that resonated deep within her soul. "I'm coming," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the hum of the spaceship. But the words were a promise, a vow carried on the cosmic wind. "Who are you?" Josephine asked the emptiness of space. The question echoed in the silence of her mind, a silent plea carried on the waves of her thoughts. She didn't expect an answer, not a verbal one anyway. But then a whisper, faint as stardust, brushed against her consciousness. It wasn't a voice, not really, but a feeling, an impression of thoughts and emotions, loneliness, longing, hope. Josephine clung to those whispers, drawing strength from their vulnerability. They were proof that she wasn't alone, that her connection was real. "I don't know your name," she admitted, her voice a hushed murmur. "But I feel you, I hear you." The response was immediate, a wave of relief washing over her, a sense of shared understanding, a bond forged in the crucible of their unique connection. "Captain!" A gruff voice broke through the silence, snapping Josephine back to reality. She turned, her gaze meeting the concerned eyes of her first mate, a burly man named Ben. "Are you all right? You seem distant." Josephine offered him a reassuring smile. "Just thinking," she replied, her voice calm and steady. "Don't worry, Ben. I have a good feeling about this." Ben frowned, his eyes filled with concern. "We're heading into uncharted territory, Captain. Are you sure about this course?" Josephine looked back at the star-dusted expanse before them, her eyes shining with unwavering faith. "Trust me, Ben," she said, her voice filled with quiet conviction. "I know where we're going." She couldn't explain it, not really, not in a way that would make sense to anyone else. But she didn't need to. Josephine had faith, faith in her instincts, faith in the connection she felt, and faith in the man who was waiting for her at the end of this cosmic journey. Section 5. Charting the course. The ship hummed beneath her touch as Josephine adjusted the navigation controls. She punched in a series of coordinates, her fingers moving with a confidence that belied the uncertainty of their destination. The crew watched, their faces a mixture of apprehension and awe. No maps existed for this journey. No previous explorers had charted these star systems. Josephine was navigating blind, guided only by the whispers in her soul and the pull on her heart. "Destination locked in," she announced, her voice echoing on the bridge. The ship shuddered, engines groaning as it changed course, plunging deeper into the unknown. Josephine closed her eyes, focusing on the connection, feeling it strengthen with every passing moment. She was getting closer. Section 6. A Captain's Resolve. Doubt, a shadowy spectre, tried to creep into Josephine's thoughts. What if she was wrong? What if this connection was nothing but a cruel trick of her imagination? She pushed the doubts away, her resolve hardening like a star going supernova. She wouldn't allow herself to be ruled by fear. She had come too far, risked too much. Josephine believed in this connection, in the man who called to her across the vastness of space. She was his compass and he was her North Star, captain on the bridge. Josephine stood tall, her eyes fixed on the swirling vortex of stars before her. She could feel the crew's gazes on her, their silent questions hanging heavy in the air. "We're on the right path," she said, her voice firm and steady. "Trust me." Section 7. The patience of time. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The vastness of space stretched before them, an endless expanse of shimmering stars and silent beauty. The crew grew restless. The silence of the void, broken only by the hum of the ship's engines, was starting to wear on their nerves. "How much longer, Captain?" Josephine met Ben's gaze, his usually jovial face etched with worry. She understood his concern. They were all tethered to her faith, her conviction the only anchor in this sea of uncertainty. "Patience, Ben," she said, her voice calm and reassuring. "We're getting closer." Her words were met with a skeptical silence. Josephine didn't blame them. She had no tangible proof, no scientific data to support her claims. All she had was her faith, her unwavering belief in the connection she shared with the man who haunted her dreams. Section 8. Murmurs of anticipation. Then a shift. The whispers in Josephine's mind grew stronger, clearer. The pull on her heart intensified, a steady drumbeat urging her forward. The emptiness of space thrummed with a newfound energy, a sense of anticipation that sent shivers down her spine. Josephine could feel it, a palpable shift in the atmosphere aboard the ship. The crew, sensing the change, emerged from their quarters, their faces etched with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. "What is it, Captain?" Ben asked, his voice hushed with awe. Josephine smiled, her eyes shining with excitement. "We're here," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the thrumming of the engines. "Get ready to drop out of hyperspace." Section 9. Towards the horizon. The ship lurched as it exited hyperspace, the familiar tug of gravity returning with a jolt. The crew gasped, their eyes widening as they took in the sight before them. A swirling nebula, a kaleidoscope of colors unlike anything they had ever seen, dominated the viewport, and at its center, nestled within the heart of the cosmic storm, lay a planet. "Magnificent," Ben breathed, his voice filled with awe. Josephine didn't reply. She couldn't tear her gaze away from the planet. It pulsed with life, a beacon of hope in the vastness of space, and she knew with every fiber of her being that he was there, waiting for her. "Take us in," she commanded, her voice trembling with anticipation. The ship responded, gliding towards the unknown planet, towards the man who had called to her across the stars, towards the destiny that awaited them both.